This is October 11th, 2019. Year of our Lord 2019 is pre-algebra. Thank you very much. We're going to quickly go through yesterday's answers and get on to two-step solutions. You're not learning anything different today. You're just learning what you've learned. Listen, let's boil it down again. You can add, subtract, multiply, or divide the same thing from both sides of an equation and it'll stay true, right? So what are you going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? You're going to undo whatever they've done to the variable. And today, you're just going to learn, you got to do it twice. So it's just a little longer. So for each equation, you're going to have to do that process twice. You'll have to add to both sides, and then you'll have to divide both sides by the same number. Well, let's go through yesterday's work. Ready? Number 5. Your answer was 18. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
Your answer was 48. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
Oh, nice chorus. How about 70?
Amen.
Same volume. How about 8?
Amen.
All right. How about 3?
Amen.
13?
Amen.
105?
Amen.
350?
Amen.
216?
Amen.
No. Really? Everybody's gotten all these right? Number 14, 3.
Amen.
2.5. Finally got it. Or did you write 2.5? 2.5, 2.5. All right. 1/2, or if you wrote 0.5.
Amen.
Oh, that wasn't as strong. Number 16 looks like this. Listen, don't be afraid. Fractions are numbers too. So 48 equals 96z. What do I got to do? I got to divide both sides by 96. That's not a problem for you. 48 divided by 96, and you just reduce it. Half. This is number 16. Divide by 96, get rid of it, undo it. Divide by 96, you get a half. Number 17. You should have chosen C.
Amen.
You cut the pizza. That reminds me. Guy goes into the pizza shop. Says, I want to order a large pizza, Dominic. The baker says, do you want that in 8 slices or 12? And the guy says, you better make it 8. I can never eat 12. Well, they hadn't heard it in a while, so I thought I'd do it after.
Remember the play that we did? Remember Sam was Mr. Franken and he said.
All right, the answer was C. Number 18. You made $8 every time you mowed the lawn. Hopefully it was a small lawn for you. Number 19, you're going to divide by 5. Number 20, you're going to multiply by -9. And number 21, you're going to subtract -6 or add 6. Whoa. Wait, Kira. Shh. Kira. There are 2 possible answers for number 21. One would be to subtract -6, which is the same thing as adding 6. Yes. All right. Turn the page. Okay, page 117. There's modeling two-step equations. If that helps you, you can go back to page 317 and 318. Or how about we just dive right in?
Yeah.
Okay? That's what Mr. Franklin likes to do. The examples are always there for you to go back to. But before we even get into the book, listen. Two-step equations, all it involves is doing the process twice. First thing I'm going to do, Zacchaeus, is I want to isolate my x term. Why? Because at the end, I want to know what x is. Some of you, your first taste of algebra, you're like, why are they putting letters in math? Why are they putting letters in my math problems? So you want to figure out what that letter is. What does it equal? So at the bottom here, you want to get down to what does x equal? I'm sorry, I should have written that over here because You know what makes life easier? When you're nice and organized and you line up your equal signs. That's not like a trivial matter. That'll help you keep everything nice, neat, and clean, and then you won't get confused. I want to know what X is at the end. What do I got to do first? I want to isolate the X term. Right now I've got something attached to the X term. I got two things, but let's get rid of this guy first. What would I do to get rid of the negative 1? Dominic? Add 1. So some of you like the shorthand way. I'm going to go like this. Plus 1, plus 1. What's my new equation? Somebody tell me. Raise your hand. If I added 1 to both sides, what am I going to write on this line for my new equation? Zacchaeus?
3x equals 12.
3x equals 12. Line up my equal signs. Now what do I got to do? I want to get down to just x. How do I get rid of the 3? How do I undo it? I got to go like this. What's 3 over 3? 1. You know, some of you on the test got, like, you lost your minds and it was 5 divided by 5, you put 0. You know 5 divided by 5 is 1. Some of you put 0 on that. I know you know that's not true, but anyway, 3 divided by 3 is 1x. Do I have to write the 1 in front of the x?
No.
It's understood, like understood you. Understood to be a 1. I divide this side by 3. Why? Because whatever I do to one side of
You
an
have to do it to the other.
equation, I got to do to the other. It doesn't make any sense. So x is 4. How do you check it? What's 3 times 4? What's 12 minus 1?
11.
Yeah.
Let's go here. How do I get rid of the 20? Right now I've got a t term, but I got a 20 attached to it. How do I get rid of it? Dominic?
Divide.
Nope.
Wait, what?
I want to get rid of the 20 first.
Oh.
I have a t term. I got to get rid of the 20 first. What do I do, Isaac? Subtract 20? Okay. So if I go like that and like that, what's my new line going to look like, Jordan? Yes. 12t equals 24. Raise your hand if you're confused. What did I do? All I did was do what we've been doing. Subtract the same thing from both sides. Now, I want to get down to what does t equal? I want to know what t is. What do I got to do, Evelyn? How do I get rid of that 12? Right now it's t times 12. So how do I undo multiplication?
Division.
Bingo. If I divide by 12, that gives me 1t. Divide by 12, 2. Box your answer. How do I check it? What's 12 times 2?
24.
What's 24 plus 20?
44. Yay. Yay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Oh boy. There's a fraction.
Oh, yay.
I'm done. I'm leaving. You're right.
How am I supposed to do this when they put a fraction in there? I'm so defeated. Not really. Okay. How do I get rid of the negative 6? I just realized I was on camera and I threw the marker down.
Oh.
I wasn't really mad, Julia, Sawyer, and John.
Hi, Julia. Hey, Julia.
How do I get rid of the negative 6, Noel? How do you get rid of a negative? How do you undo that? With a positive. So I'm going to add 6. What do I got to do over here? Add 6. So I got x over 4 equals 6. How do I get rid of the 4? It's x divided by 4. Elise, how do you undo division? So I'm going to go times 4. Does everybody understand how that works?
Yeah.
If I go 4x over 4, 4 over 4 is 1. Beautiful, that's what I want. What must I do over here?
Divide. Or any multiple.
Times 4.
Yeah. I so knew that.
Yeah.
Let's check it. What's 24 over 4?
6.
What's 6 minus 6?
I
did it right. How do I get rid of the 14? I'm going to do it long way this time. 10t plus 14 minus 14 equals 64. What do I got to do over here? Subtract 14. Now my new equation is 14 minus 14 is nothing. 10t. 64 minus 14. How do I get rid of the 10? Jonathan, how do I get rid of that 10? 10 divided by 10 is 1. T. 50 divided by 10 is? Am I right? Always got to check. What's 10 times 5? 50 plus 14. Man, you guys might not have any homework this weekend if you could finish 10 through 35. Woo! Go! Listen, it's a, what page? 121, 122. Sorry.
Wait, is it all of this?
Yeah, let's go. Go, 10 through 35, go.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you got 1 minute for each problem. If you keep working and don't dilly-dally, you got no homework. 10 through 35.
Think on the bright side. It could be worse. It could be 10 to 36.
Oh my gosh, so hard not to do this in my head. I don't do this right.
I know, I don't know.
Let's go, Spence. Don't waste time, just get right. 35. 4z plus 8 equals 12. 4z minus 8 minus 8. 4z equals 4. Z equals 1. First one, number 10. Minus 8 minus 8. So you got 4z equals 4.
Wait, 10.
Divide by 4, divide by 4.
Wait, can you write that down? I don't understand. Am I doing this right anyway?
Did you just do all this
Mr. Flankin.
and you understood it?
Not really. Mr. Flankin. Doesn't make sense.
It
Am
doesn't.
I doing this right?
What?
Am I doing this right?
Subtract 8, subtract 8.
I think it all is. How can that make sense?
What is it? Where's the 12 come from? Where's subtract 8? It's 4. All right, here we go.
Is it 8 divided?
Number 10.
Wait. Okay. Oh.
Okay, Preston, I got to get rid of the 8. What am I going to write? How do I get rid of positive 8?
Subtracting.
Thanks, Preston. So if I subtract 8, what must I do to this side, Preston? Whoops. So now I have 4z equals 4. I'll stop there. Kira, what doesn't make sense? You had to, if you subtract the same thing from both sides of an equation, you're good. It's still true. I subtracted 8. Why? I want to isolate the z. I want to know what z is. You got that so far? Okay, now. Okay, so now the z is next to the 4. That indicates multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? So what's 4 divided by 4? Okay, so if I divide this by 4, that leaves me just 1z. If I divide 4, z equals 1. I'm done. Am I right?
Yeah.
What's 4 times 1? 4. What's 4 plus 8? 12.
What is this? 10 to 33.
All right, I'll lighten your load since there's still confusion. 10 through 29.
Yay!
28.
10 through 29.
And I'm not doing it line by line this time. Are you proud of me? No,
Number 11, you got thrown for a loop because it's on the other side. It doesn't matter.
Are you allowed to flip it? Like,
Okay. Bella says, it really bugs me when they write it with the variable on the right side. So let me ask you if this is okay. If it bugs you that the variable's on the right side, am I allowed to, when I write down this problem for number 11, am I allowed to do this?
I don't know. Yes, because it's the same. That's what I did.
It's the same thing. So if it bugs you that it's on the right side, when you write it down on your paper, just put it on the other side. Doesn't matter, it's equal sign between them. So now I subtract 2 from both sides. What do I got? 4h equals 16.
18.
No, it's not 18 there. It's 18 minus 2.
4.
Now,
Divided by 4. I think that.
I subtracted 2.
I'm sorry.
So now what do? I divide by 4. H equals 4. Am I right?
Yes.
4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18.
I wrote 0.
Jordan. 14. Okay, that one's 14. You got to really pay attention to 14 because this is actually something new. Okay, so thank you, Jordan. Number 14. Okay, stop, pause. Everybody, press pause. Look up here. I've got 100 minus 7r. There's a negative sign attached to my variable. I want to know what r is, not negative r. Okay, watch. First thing I do, actually there's a couple ways I can go through this. If I don't want to work with a negative variable, if I didn't want to, I could move the negative 7r over here. Is it true that I could add negative 7r to both sides and it would still be equal? So if I wanted to, if it really annoyed me, like Bella, it annoys her when it's on the right, so I just wrote it that way, I could add 7r to both sides to make it positive. Are you paying attention? So this is what that would look like. I could turn that equation into that. Now, raise your hand if you have a question. What did I do? I just did what we've been doing. It was a negative 7r, so I added 7r to both sides. 7r plus 44.
Makes sense.
I can always add, subtract, multiply, or divide anything as long as I do it to both sides. So I didn't like this negative 7r, so you know what I did? I said, okay, I'll make it a positive 7r and just put it over here. All I did was add the same thing to both sides. Yes, all I did was add. What's negative 7 plus 7? It gets rid of it over here. There's nothing over there now. Here, negative 7r plus 7r gets rid of the r on this side. Just like this. 8 and minus 8 gets rid of the 8 on that side. So if I have 7r and a negative 7r, they undo each other. There's 0 now. But it does make sense. Does this make sense? That 8 minus, Kara, that 8 minus 8 leaves you with nothing? Just a 4c? Okay. So, positive 7 and negative 7r leaves you with nothing.
Why did you get to have 7r on 31st?
Because it doesn't matter. Remember, this one in your book said 18 equals 4h plus 2. I just wrote them on the other side of the equal sign. Still the same thing. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 equals 2 plus 2. Isn't that the same thing? Right?
Yeah.
So if I chose to do it this way, everybody still paying attention? If I chose to do it this way, now I got to get rid of this 44. Subtract 44. Just got 7r over here. Subtract 44. What do I got? 56. Divide by 7. Just r. Divide by 7. 8. What's 7 times 8? What's 100 minus 56?
Well, how do you do it without changing?
Okay. Kiara says, how do you do it if I don't want to move that 7r over there? There you go. If I didn't want to do it this way, is it okay if I erase this one?
Yeah, sure.
Remember, there's 2 ways to do this one. If I didn't want to mess with moving the 7r, same problem, I would have, I'll just rewrite it. What would I have to do on this side? To get the r term by itself, I'd have to subtract. Right now I've got 100 minus 7r equals 44.
Add 7.
No, I already did that. Subtract 100. The other way to do it would be minus 100 minus 100 negative 7r equals, well, 44 minus 100. 44 minus 100. Signs are different. Find the difference. 56. Use the sign of the larger one. Negative 56. Kira, now what do I divide by over here to get r by itself?
7.
Not 7. 7 would give me negative 1. Positive 1. Negative 7 divided by... No, negative 7 divided by positive 7 is going to give me negative 1. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 gives me positive 1. So I'm going to divide by negative 7 on both sides. What is negative 56 divided by negative 7? Not negative. When you're multiplying and dividing, 2 negatives make a...
Positive.
Look, it got the same answer either way I did it. There's actually another way to do it.
No,
I know how you would.
No, thank you.
For those of you that are eager to know the other way to do it, you know what you could do at the beginning of any equation that has that negative r? You could multiply everything in the equation by negative 1. Think about it. As long as you treat everything equally, it's still going to be a true equation. I could have multiplied everything by negative 1, and this would have turned into negative 100, positive 7r, negative 44. Huh. And you would still get 8. You would still get r equals 8. Good question, Jordan. Thank you very much. That was much needed. Yes. Don't be afraid of number 15. Just because it's not a whole number answer, it's still okay. It's correct. It's a number. Fractions are numbers too. Is that called a silverfish?
What?
Where's my microscope?
A silver?
Was it one of your classes that you guys brought the spider in and it was still alive and we put it in the microscope and watched the heartbeat?
Don't step on it. Don't step on it.
Anybody wait. We could, if anybody has like chocolate sauce, we could fry it up and
Oh,
Yes, yes, I like.
I've done that before, but that's, like, I did bugs.
Okay.
The animal.
Julius, Sawyer, and Johnny, we are interrupted by a centipede, silverfish.
Just pick it up and take it outside.
Alright, seeds, you've all seen little critters before. Come on, Nina. Nina.
He said he was gonna kill it.
It's not getting on my foot.
He said he was gonna kill it if it doesn't go on his foot.
And it didn't go
Oh,
on
wow,
my
you
foot.
just stepped on it.
That had to be by pure accident.
No!
He's
I wasn't watching where I was going.
You just killed life.
That thing's dead and gone.
That's
Oh, no.
so sad.
You killed an animal.
I am so sad.
How could you be that?
I'm
Or-
kind of sad. Oh yes, let there be light. Oh, that actually makes it like way better.
It's gonna be a good
They
game.
didn't get on my foot, so shit on it.
Oh, I mean, actually, I hope it's not.
I'm sad now.
What's the record?
Because they didn't get on my foot.
Oh.
Yes. What number? Which one? Okay, heads up, 13. You've got an 8p attached to a negative 16. What do you got to do to both sides? Add 16. So now you've got 8p equals 56. Now you got to divide both sides by 8. Boom. So p equals 7.
Oh, I was reading it the other way around. It made me.
Okay, listen. One thing that you might get caught doing is, wait, I'm going to divide by 4 first. No. Get rid of the constant that's attached to the variable. Always add or subtract first before you multiply or divide. Does that make sense? Get rid of the 8 and then work on getting rid of that 4 attached to the z. Evelyn, you're done too?
How?
Why did
It takes too much effort.
mentally.
He was like, I know.
I'm literally on
Spence.
16.
You had to show your work.
16.
It's 2 steps all the way.
Now see, can we just
Have a great weekend.
Can we just learn this and then like when it comes?
Bye, Julia. See you tomorrow.
I saw it.
Bye, other people.
Bye, Mom. Bye,
Whatever.